Yeah, Arrowhead Chiefs. It's your girl, Miss Nicole. Queen of Hustle, baby. Started from the bottom, now we here. My homie at the start of his career. Let's go. Try to warn him early, hear the truth. Tune in every Sunday for the juice. Arrowhead Chief Podcast, bringing all the news. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Chris style, out here rapping for the crew. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube.
What's up, ChiefsKingdom? You are tuned in to the Arrowhead Chief Podcast, episode 215, 7 straight AFC Championship games. People, we are here. We are hosting Buffalo on Sunday, but until then, we got to talk about this divisional round against the Texans. Yeah, man, but before we get into that, we got bringing back a special guest, DJ Diamond Diva for 31 podcast. Bringing her back on the show to talk about, give her thoughts on the game and what she saw. DJ Diamond, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. And of course, no problem. And of course, my co-host, Mark. You know him as just Mark. What's going on, Mark?
Yeah, just another day in the valley, and then another round we headed toward to another journey to the Super Bowl. So we just enjoying it. The Chiefs, red cups, red everything.
Hey.
Right on. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's talk about it, man. The Chiefs won 23-14. Patrick Mahomes was 16-25, 177 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt had 44 on the ground, touchdown. But it was all about Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 117 yards and a touchdown. George Karlaftis, he had 3 sacks. Chris Jones had a sack. Connor had a sack. Murray had a sack. Aminu had a sack. And Turk had a sack. 8 sacks on C.J. Stroud.
So they're Big Macs for everybody.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. As far as this game goes, we got the big kickoff in the beginning. Nico, he got to work on, holding on to the football, man, because that could have been a disaster in the beginning. But shout out to Samaje Perine for recovering the fumble. I would have liked us to get a touchdown on that drive because we was right at the 12-yard line. We should be able to score in that drive. But, we got 3. And in the beginning, I will give it to the Texans. Their defensive line was giving our offensive line a little bit of trouble in the beginning. But they end up figuring it out and, helping out Tooney a little bit more with some chips from the running backs and the tight ends. And we pretty much we dominated the game in the line of scrimmage on the second half for sure. Yeah, man, Pat, he did enough to where he needed to win the game, but it was all about the defense, man. That defensive line, man, showed up in the second half, and every time C.J. Stroud and them was threatening to get into the end zone, they just couldn't get nothing going. And, we'll talk about the referees and the controversy with that later. But all in all, they did enough to lose this game. And, that had nothing to do with the referees. It was, you can't on the opening kickoff, your player thinking that he caused the fumble, takes his helmet off and pushes the coach on the sideline and gets an added on 15-yard penalty. You can't have your quarterback getting sacked 8 times. You can't.
Field goal kicker was terrible.
Yeah, your special team kickoff, your field goal kicker, he can't continue to miss kicks, and get one blocked. So, it was just a lot of things that went down on that game that made the Texans lose. So, but all in all, man, the Chiefs did enough to win. I know, the wide receivers really didn't have a catch, but Travis Kelce was amazing. They left him open for whatever. That's another thing. You might want to guard 87. You know,
Just
he
maybe.
might be he might be a future Hall of Famer one day. So you might want to guard him. But for whatever reason, they just left him open in the middle of the field, and he'll gladly take that. And you know, him and Pat were just on in this game. And hey, man, we're walking away with a dub, and we're headed back to the AFC Championship game. So, DJ Diamond Diva, how did you feel about the game?
I felt all right about the game. Like I said, that was their first game after about 20 plus days off, maybe 20, 21 days off.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Chiefs do what they need to do to win. Whatever's necessary is what's going to happen. I know. And I mean, too, we all love to see the high flying plays and all of that we were accustomed to when Pat first came in the league. But like I said, for a different regime, you have to change the way you play. And so I think right now we're playing smart ball. I do think that we haven't seen a lot of what Andy Reid has in the playbook. I think we're going to see a lot of that this week coming up. Yeah. But like I said, it was enough. The defense did what they needed to do with the 8 sacks. The special teams really stepped up. And so we didn't need a whole lot of offense. It would have been nice. The one thing that I would like to see more is more touchdowns in the red zone. But in terms of doing what needed to be done, that's what we were going to do. And there was really no doubt in my mind about that. The Texans are a good team. I thought that they would do better than they did coming down the stretch, but they have sustained some injuries, so that's a little bit to be expected. But the Texans weren't winning that game. You know, let's just be honest about that. And I'll save the rest for when you transition us to the ref conversation. But overall, I felt okay with it. You know, obviously I'd like to see a little bit more on offense, but it doesn't matter what we want to see. As long as we win, that's the main thing. And they did that.
Right. What you got for me, Mark?
What was funny about it, though, I remember saying this prior to. I said one of these kickers was going to be awful. I said I just had a feeling with it. I didn't know which game it was, but I was not expecting to be the Chiefs game, because that was Fairburn just had a very bad game. Realistically, he won blocked, but the one that really hurt them the most was that extra point on that long drive in the third quarter, and you could just see it. They was just deflated. The whole sideline. And that stuff matters too, because then you're thinking about like, okay, we got the game tied and everything. So, you know, you back in. I mean, technically you're still back in down 1, but you can just see it. Like that team just absolutely deflated. So special teams obviously was like the big thing. And the other thing that I called, Spags was in his bag. It was clear as day. He don't showcase nothing. 8 sacks. Shout out to Ty for dropping in the chat though. But if you'd have told me that Karlaftis was second already on the playoff sacks for the Chiefs, I wouldn't have believed it. I looked at that number. I was like, oh, he got 7.5. I'm like, hey, he's making a run. He could be close to the leader as far as he ain't got far to go to catch Clark as far as the overall. But overall, though, you know, Spags was basically in his bag. It's like as far as when it came to the execution, they held him to 12 points during the regular season. They gave him 19, so it just comes to show that they did better. I mean, so we talked about it on the other show, but you know, all the other opposing teams and everything, they had outdone them as far as when it comes to yardage and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's about executing points. And you know, shout out to the Chiefs defense. They did exactly what they're supposed to. McDuffie, you know, he had a great game. He was rocking his up. Watson, I had no issue. So they did everything you could possibly ask for. They had a much better performance as far as, you know, execution wise, and you see why they need to have those pieces like a Hugh there. And when they're healthy and they're ready to go, it's a whole different team. The playoff Chiefs is not the same as the regular season Chiefs. Offensive side of the ball, I mean, I'll say this: 23 days off, like let's just round it off. It's basically a month off of football. That's a long time. You're trying to get your rhythm back, and there were a couple of things that I see. I mean, it may not have been executed, but for example, the Hollywood Brown pass downfield. I think that's a combination of rust more than anything. I mean, we've seen it happen, but I think for them to be that close, you know, I'm okay with that. You can live with those kind of plays. Kelsey, you know, he was just back to being same old Kelsey, Agent 87. He's just doing what he does best, showing up when it matters. And that's just the storyline with the Chiefs. And, you know, everybody want to make up these narratives. They lucky. And they've been playing like this the last 5, 6, 7 seasons. That's just who they are.
Just a lot of field goals ain't luck. You got the first one. Oh, that was lucky, but it ain't luck.
But because their coordinator though, he's like that though. He's nice like that though. It's like we've been knew that as far as with their special teams coach, he's just that good. It's like they don't really talk about him as much as he should. He gets enough credit, But I mean, we've always had a good special teams coordinator. So shout out to them. And there's only a handful of special teams coordinators that get a lot of respect. They get noticed, like him and dude out of Pittsburgh. Those are probably the two special teams coordinators that I acknowledge the most. But I mean, overall it was a good game. They did what they needed to do. They put up the points they needed to. I ain't got too many negative things to say. I mean, just knock off the rust. Bags was in his bag. Special teams did what they need to do. I got no issues.
What's going on?
So they good.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Mark. I do think that the offense was a little rusty in the beginning. I do think it was a little just timing type deal because there was another pass that that Mahomes missed. Hollywood, he was did like a little wheel route on the other side when we got the first drive, and he missed him. He overthrew him. If he had hit him in stride, it would have been 7. So yeah, it was just rust. I think it was rust. But I got to give credit to the Texans defensive line too, because Will Anderson
was legit on defense. That was
Danielle Hunter and Autry and all those boys. They the real deal.
Not enough.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. Yeah, not enough. Shout out to Kendrick.
But D'Amico Ryans, though, that just speaks to his background because it's him as him being more of a defensive kind of guy. I mean, I thought it was a good opponent for the Chiefs to open up against.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we're talking about. I mean, for the most part, all the teams that were in the postseason, they typically have good defenses. I mean, even despite Pittsburgh, they got ran over by the Ravens. They're still usually a good defense, but I mean, it's just. I mean, shout out to the Texans and everything. They had a great run. They just got the injury bug. Let's just call it for what it is. It happens that there's always that one team where the injury bug catches up with them, and could have been a different game.
I can't give them a pass on that. I'm gonna just respectfully disagree with that because you're right. They have had injuries. So have we. We've had so have a lot of teams. They just didn't have what it took. And the reason why I think I'm a little bit more hard on them than what I would have been is just the lack of accountability that they took. Like, I don't like when players and people in the game go to that referee thing. Like, to me, I just don't like that. That's not classy because ultimately we know that happens every game. There are calls that were missed that should have been called or whatever, but real time it's a little bit different, more difficult to make some of those calls. And when we get into it, I'll explain what I mean by that.
No,
but ultimately,
go ahead and take off. Go ahead and take off.
So what I'm saying with that, because there's so much talk about those calls, those were big calls, those weren't just flags, those were flags that killed this and that. One of the flags was on first down, and we gained 4 to 5 yards. So at minimum, had it not been called, it would have been 2nd and 5. You think we're not going to get that? It's like, that wasn't a game changer for y'all. And then secondly, because this is something that I've seen in a lot of the comments too that are just ridiculous. How the Chiefs get all the calls, and you can't name one call in one game that the Chiefs didn't get. And I'm thinking, are you kidding? Every single game, there is at least one that I think is egregious or is missed. But the difference is, being a football person and understanding the game, that is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not keeping tally of every time that I think the Chiefs should have got a call and didn't. That is the game. They are human, just like we are. They doing their best. That play was non-reviewable because it was it was head contact. You can look at it and I'm talking about the one where the 2 Texans players hit Pat when he was going down. Yeah. They touched his head. Like, there's contact to the head. So regardless of whether it was very impactful or as hard as we thought it would be, there was contact to the head, which made it non-reviewable, and which is why they throw the flag. That is their guideline in their rule, that they have to throw the flag. They always err on the side of the quarterback. If there is contact, the flag is thrown. So that is not special privilege for the Chiefs. That is what they are supposed to do. And that is not the Chiefs' fault if that's not upheld in other games. But I just don't like the discrediting of the team. You don't have to like it. You can be upset about a call. We get it. But to say that the referees are the only reason why the Chiefs won that game or it would have been different. No, that's just, tell me what would have been different about Houston getting sacked 8 times. Like I said, being a disaster on special teams. There was nothing that was going to be different. The Texans have not won a divisional game ever in the history of their franchise. So it's like, to come in there and just make it like, oh, we were lucky. Come to me with the facts, and then I'll talk about it. But outside of that, you don't have a case for one of the two. The other one, maybe we want to have a conversation about, quarterback that, run close to the out of bounds or this and that. And that's what you can have a conversation about that. But all the quarterbacks do it, including Josh Allen, your MVP candidate. He's big time for that. Also flopping. There is a highlight reel of Josh Allen's flops. So
It's king flop.
Like
At least 3 of them.
If we keeping it all the way 100, let's keep it that way. Let's talk about everybody who is getting the, being on the receiving end of good calls. So they want to. It's not just the Chiefs. It's really not.
No, it's not.
Like I said, we can go into how many flags the Chiefs have gotten. That's been proven that we don't even receive the most. Like, it's just all of it is pretty much false, and it's because people want to get on the hate bandwagon. Pretty much.
Of course. Yeah. As far as these look, Houston. It was disgusting after the game to see all these players trying to say, "Oh, well, we knew what it was when we came up here." Well, obviously, you didn't prepare yourself right, because if you knew that the referees was going to be a factor, you should have put yourself in better position so the referees wouldn't be a factor. If you knew,
because they weren't calls. They weren't game-winning drive calls. It wasn't fourth quarter, the last minute. Oh, they didn't call the PI. Like, none of those two calls were none of that. Those were in the first half, my brother. Like, you had the whole second half. What?
Special teams was special teams that killed them more than anything, because in the third quarter, I thought they executed a great plan coming out, as far as and with ball control, and usually those are the quarters where the Chiefs are kind of like, and I said this too on the I think last week, where I said one of the biggest concerns I had wasn't really the tackles, it was more so how they come out of the third quarter, because they usually come out flat. Now this game they actually responded, but up to that response, that when he missed that extra point, that was what deflated him more than anything.
Yeah, because you saw
can't get ahead. Like, they just couldn't get it.
Because you saw
it wasn't a matter of catching a break. It wasn't a matter of none of that. It's like they had executed a very long clock killing drive. I think it's like they used up 10 minutes of that clock. They did everything right.
They did.
It's just Airborne was just going. That's a special teams problem, not a referee problem, not a offensive execution problem. They did what they needed, just the kicker didn't do what he did, and that 1 point just makes a difference. Just like 1 point, trying to come back from 1 point against the Chiefs just feels like 10 points realistically, and in Arrowhead, so it's tough. And then the Chiefs end up taking the ball, and then they end up executing the drive on their own. So they deflated them. It hurt them, but that's when it comes down to. You can't make those mistakes in the playoffs.
Right.
That's why we say you had 18 weeks of practice to make sure that you had it ready for the playoffs, but when it came time to shine, they just choked.
And it was just it's a poor excuse in lack of accountability, because, like I said, yes, maybe you felt like, hey, one of those shouldn't have been called or what have you. But how about you not put yourself in those situations? If you were, like you said, we knew this was going to be what it was coming in, and why set yourself up? And then you give yourself additional penalties by taking your helmet off on the field and doing. Like, y'all were not. I think that's what happens sometimes. People get out of character and outside of themselves and how they typically play when they play the Chiefs, because they feel like I have to be, which you do. You've got to be Superman pretty much, or be on your best day to beat them. And so people start getting off their square because they feel like we've got to make certain things happen, and they make a mistake when they do that. And really, in the playoffs, one mistake can cost you. Like, Baltimore had to, but that's really the only reason why Baltimore lost that game, was because of mistake. Outside of that, they were scoring back and forth with the Bills. Like, they probably would have won that game had they not had a mistake. And so that's really what it is playing mistake-free football at this time of the year, because as we've said, and the numbers prove, the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are the best in the postseason by far, and it's because they don't make mistakes. Patrick Mahomes has not thrown an interception in like 262 passes.
Since the Bills game, I think. Since the Bills game.
Yeah, since the Bills game.
I mean, even with the referee controversy, I mean, I can point out other games too and stuff like that where calls and missed things happen. Even when the Bills were in a situation where it was to the point where it was a blowout, it was like when they started to run over Denver, they missed a call downfield where they called it a catch and it was actually a drop. I'm like, well, where's replay assist on that situation? They would have stopped the game and did what they need to do, but it's very selective. But at the same time, you got to put yourself in a situation to where you can actually make those calls, or throw the flag yourself. Do what you got to do.
And I know this isn't this year. Like I said, if I cared enough, I can certainly give an example from each game on a call that was missed for the Chiefs that we should have received. But one of them that's real big, that was in a big game and a game-winning moment, was when the Chiefs played against the Green Bay Packers and we had MVS, and they clearly, everybody said it, even the referee on the call that night, that was pass interference. Had we gotten that, we would have beaten the Packers. But nobody wanted to hold a rally and a vigil for that. We just want to talk about what the Chiefs get. And so, like I said, it's that lack of looking at the full scope that really bothers me. It's like y'all pick out one or two plays from a game you probably didn't even watch the whole game.
Yeah.
And they have this narrative that that's the only way that we're winning. And it's like, nah, look again. Try again, because it's lame. I hate it.
And at the end of the day,
watch the own games. I don't even be caring what they got to say.
Yeah, and at the end, at the end of the day, people are just tired of us. That's all.
Yep.
They just mad because our team continues to win. It's just like when people hated the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't stand watching the Patriots. They always win in Tom Brady. He gets all the calls But Patriots fans,
cheating scandals too.
Yeah, Patriots fans, y'all need to cut it out because y'all got caught with Spygate, Deflate Gates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all was out here doing some nasty work out here.
I love
Bill Belichick.
You could actually throw the Bills, the '90s Bills in that conversation. The only difference is between the '90s Bills, the Patriots, and the current Chiefs is that the Chiefs and the Patriots had something to show for it. The Bills got nothing but an empty chest of.
The difference is we haven't cheated. They're going off of something from the refs, maybe not doing their job, or so they think they're not doing their job the way they're supposed to do it. The Chiefs ain't got nothing to do with that. We're not up there spying on nobody and deflating. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So, like I said, to be accused of cheating, it's like, what and how, bro? Like, choose your words carefully because that matters. Like, the Chiefs aren't cheaters.
And it's just like what Nick Rice said today. He was like, y'all talking about the NFL is rigged. Well, that's all 32 owners. That's who owns the league. That's who runs the league. You think Jerry Jones is sitting back saying, that team in Kansas City, man, we need to push them because they got their number 15 over there. No. If anything, he would make sure he won all the Super Bowls.
Yep.
And it's unfair. If you don't like the Chiefs, we got Taylor Swift now, Caitlin Clarkson. So the media is going to eat that up. They're going to talk once again, these are nothing to do with the Chiefs. Nobody was taught. Well, I guess they was talking about stuff when Dallas was America's team for all those years. Like, it just happens when you're on top. People just like to come for you. And
social media
have this problem, then have the problem we had way back in the day when we weren't winning Super Bowls, weren't in this. Like, come on. Bring on the haters. Bring on the problem.
Yeah, for real. I'll take it.
Nobody's going to dim down our success because y'all mad at it.
Mitch Holthus said it best. You can disrespect them. You can dislike. You can do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you're going to deal with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to take them out. If it's so bad, then beat them.
But that comes to show the kind of era that we're in. It's like, even, with media in general and everything, we want to give credit to all these other people, all these other teams. Baltimore is supposed to do it. Bills are destined to do that. We're not in that era where the previous champion, especially the team that's done it twice in a row, gets the respect that they deserve. They want to find a way to discredit before they actually give them the respect that it is. So the only way to shut them up would be to actually three-peat. Realistically, the chances starting to look good. And as much people want to be, who they really need to be mad at is Schrager, because he don't want to keep calling this stuff. He's been calling this since 5, 6 years.
He always holds it down. But like,
I'm like,
Did you know they have Baltimore? They've already got the odds for the favorites for next season, even though we're not done. And Baltimore is the favorite to win next year. Wow. Even though they went home last week, they're currently
let's talk about that real now. We gotta talk about, because we got we gotta talk about that because the Bills are our opponent in the AFC Championship game. Now, the Ravens, damn, Lamar, I love you, man. I love Lamar Jackson, but it's just somebody
not get involved.
Something about these damn playoffs. When Lamar Jackson just gets in the playoffs, he just makes uncharacteristic moves. throwing bad interceptions, fumbling the football. That interception he threw was just like, I was like, who are you throwing it to, bro?
He didn't hold the safety on that play. I think that was the play. He was supposed to hold the safety, and he didn't do it long enough. And
because he stared straight at Bateman. Like, he stared him down, and the safety was like, oh, word? That's who you throwing it to? Like, he just came down.
He didn't hold him long enough.
But Bateman also broke out. So there was miscommunication on that. Like, Bateman, he broke out on the route. He's supposed to keep going. He thought he was going to keep going.
Yeah.
And then the fumble, Lamar, man, you got to just take the ball and get down, man. Like, get down on the ground, bro.
Stay down.
You do too much, you lose football games. Mark Andrews, why are you going backwards, bro?
And Mark Andrews, one of the better, obviously
he is.
He's one of the best tight ends out there, and 2 uncharacteristic drops. Like, that was.
I'm blaming the Ravens pregame tweet for that one.
What did they tweet?
Because they tweeted before the game. They said the snow don't bother Mark Andrews.
He looks ready.
That was pregame.
Okay, so it wasn't this year, but they said, what was it, a couple of years ago or something? The coach, Jim Harbaugh, had said, like, the city of Buffalo was losers or something. It was something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was really necessary. And then the coach spoke up on that in the post game. But, while we're on the subject of Harbaugh, I would probably say a good amount of blame goes on him, because this is the second year in a row where they've deviated from exactly who they are. I don't care if they had Zay Flowers or not. They went away from the game plan. Let me tell you something interesting. And I brought this up a couple of times. And the crazy part about it was I had noticed a pattern in the regular season. Every time Derrick Henry has 20 carries or more, they win. When it's 19 or less, they lose. You look at every last one of them, they lost. He had, I think, like 16 or something like that in the last game and 84 yards. I don't understand why Harbaugh. This is at least the second year in a row where they've done this. But somewhere along the way, it's like, how big of the pie is the blame on Harbaugh as well?
No, there's a lot. What about when they did score? They came back, they scored, and they went for 2 in the third quarter. You should have just kicked the field goal, bro, because you kicked the field goal. You don't have to go for 2 and throw it to Mark Andrews. You just kick the field goal and you tied the game up.
He was playing their game. He was playing chase down as opposed to just letting the game. You got to trust your team.
Third quarter, man. Just play. Like, you just kick the field goal. Okay, you down 1. You gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? Or they kicked the field goal at least, and now you drive down the field. You scored. That score, you would have kicked the extra point. You would have tied the game up. Now, I get it. Josh Allen would have had like a minute and 40-something seconds left. He probably still would have marched down the field and kicked the game-winning field goal, but still, like, you take your chances.
Look, I had, before they even went for 2, I said, I was about to send the message, said too much time still on the clock. But then when he missed it, I said, delete.
Yeah.
Game over.
But if I told you that Josh Allen had 127 yards passing, no rushing, like his rushing yards was low, and no touchdowns, you would have said the Buffalo Bills got blown out. That's what you would have told me. You would have said, if you ain't never watched that game, and I said, hey man, Josh Allen had 127 yards passing and no touchdowns. But like, how they win?
I would have thought it was a snow
James
game.
Cook better had 300 yards. Like, what's going on here? And
the only option would have been snow game. That's what I would have thought. Like, maybe it's snow in the middle of the game.
He's going to have a little bit more than that this Sunday.
Oh, of course. If he has 127 yards against us, we blow. It's going to be over by the fourth. Pat and Travis and them going to be sitting on the sideline in the fourth quarter. This is going to be the Carson Wentz game in the fourth quarter. So,
I'll be close. But, yeah, they going to have to come. Well, yeah. I'll get to that.
But at the end of the day, what I saw from Buffalo is Buffalo can be had because Bateman was getting wide open. Them tight ends was getting wide open. So Travis Kelce is going to get open. Noah Gray is getting open. I think the receivers will have a better game in this game, and now we'll deep dive into it a little bit later. But I'm just saying
Their game plan was the game plan was smart. I mean, I get it. They were trying to take away Jackson. They were trying to take away Henry, and it worked realistically because Henry didn't have the number of carries, and then the tight ends, they got their plays and did what they need to do. And then one player that was getting forgotten about was Bateman. He torched him at least twice.
Yeah,
and then they could have. I mean, the third time was. I mean, that was most on the first one. That was when the interception happened. So they had an ideal game plan. It's just the Bills beat them to the punch and making sure that they changed their game plan before the Bills had to, and it just worked out in their favor. And you can't have 3 massive turnovers, especially if you're an MVP candidate. If you would have told me that they even had 3 combined between both of those quarterbacks, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have thought at the most maybe 1, and it would probably been just a fumble. But you can't have those bad habits that trickled in, and that's exactly what Lamar Jackson did. He had 2 key turnovers, although he almost brought him back, and then Mark Andrews, with the uncharacteristic drop, and then the fumble because he decided to go east and west instead of north and south. I mean, that's just and then I've ranted about that, as far as receivers trying to do too much and go backwards and not falling down. I mean, I don't know why that's taught. I don't know why that's allowed. I mean, they're trying to make the big play. I'm like, just fall down. Like, we're in cold elements. You got to be smart. That ball is too slick.
Because I think that's why he didn't catch that 2-point conversion. He did a little bit. I think if they weren't in the snow, the outcome might have been a little different on that too. But it is what it is. It's football. You got to play outside. You knew what was about to happen. So there's no excuses to be made. They just lost. And that's what it is. It's because I know people in a lot of the different fan bases and was talking all that cold cash before the game. But the Chiefs need to be worried about the Texans. And I said, well, you need to be worried about the Bills because that's the real problem. And then look what happened. You can't sleep on people and think you just about to. Lamar is great. I was rooting for the Ravens to win that game, actually. But it's like you can't come in there thinking it's sold up. And I don't think the Ravens came in there thinking they had it sold up. But just from a fan perspective, it's any given Sunday, bro. And like I said, you one mistake away from going home. It's one game in or out. And they just made too many mistakes on a team that's really good this year. The Bills are good this year. So,
I will say this. That DPI call, that was now you want to talk about a bad call on Keon Coleman, that was terrible. That was OPI, if anything. That was a terrible call.
I mean, OPIs rarely get called, but it happens every single time. We always see the extension of the arms every single time. It happens.
They taught to push off. You got to know how to push off right. You can't really extend the elbow and all that stuff. But we see it all the time. Jamar Chase is the king of push off.
Yeah, he is.
That's why he gets so much separation. That's why you see the corner like, man, hey, man, you pushed off. Like, what are you doing here? Like,
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, you're always pushing off.
I mean, I say shout out. I mean, I honestly thought it was going to come down to a Carl Shepard's call, but the Ravens made it easy for him.
Yeah, for real.
He had 3 turnovers. I mean, that was the dagger. I mean, they let him. I thought for the most part they let him play. It was a good game. Started to heat up, but
that's because the Chiefs wasn't playing. That's what it was.
Right. I had the Bills winning simply because they were at home. That was what I thought was the difference, and I thought it was going to be close. I mean, the game was 27-25. I was saying it was going to be like 30, 31, 28, something of that nature. So it was pretty close, but somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. They were out. I mean, the trolling level though of the Buffalo handles though, those are kind of wild though. That was kind of messed up. They were talking about he used like the same references like with the Instagram shutdown or not the Instagram shutdown, the TikTok shutdown. And use that against the Ravens. I'm like, y'all foul.
That's crazy.
But y'all better.
But those are the things, like that's the fun, playful banter. Like that's all good. And that's kind of what I miss. It's like, you go to the comments on some of these posts when they do things and it's like, it's just so toxic. Like I want the people that know about football and like we can have a friendly, my team is better than yours. Like, that's okay. That's what we're here for. But all this other stuff, like, I'm like, it makes the comments not even fun anymore because it's just so much negativity. Yeah. It's like, get over it, bro. Do better.
The game is rigged.
Yeah,
they want this.
How about that?
Buffalo fans just keep on jumping through tables and whatever it is y'all do. Keep punching holes in TV.
You see that black dude that tried to jump to the table and they break and he belly flop.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I thought it was symbolic. I said, yeah. I said that table must represent the Chiefs. Yeah, he just bounced off of there, and the table did not give at all.
And he was a big dude too. He wasn't small.
I'm like, you walking L, you don't go on somewhere.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. All right. Before we get into the AFC Championship game, I do want to talk about a little bit about the NFC Championship game because we're going to be possibly playing one of these teams in the Super Bowl. We got the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, look, the Eagles, they did enough. They almost lost the game, and maybe the elements was a little different. The Rams probably would have won that game.
Yeah.
They got lucky.
Yeah.
2 big runs.
Yeah.
Realistically.
The big runs by Saquon and or the one run by Jalen and then the run by Saquon. Yeah, that saved them. But because Matthew Stafford and them, they was right at the goal line. If I don't know what the left guard was thinking, trying to go on the inside instead of blocking Jalen Carter, helping out with him, because that's what killed that drive right there. When Matthew Stafford took that sack, and then he threw that ball to I think it was DeMarcus Robinson. No, it was Puka Nacua, and he just threw it out of bounds. I was like, yeah, it's over.
It was. I mean, realistically, with the game, the tide turned in that game. I mean, it turned one time when it was 15-16 when they got that safety. I was like, oh, okay, like I said, the Rams got something. Then the elements started to become a factor, and then them fumbles and back to back. I'm like, oh, can't do that. You can't make those mistakes.
Because that defensive line was playing good for the Rams. Now, what hurt them was losing Fisk. When Fisk went out of the game, even though Verk was having a good game, when Fisk went out of the game, that killed them. That's what killed them in the run game too, because you had nobody to plug up the middle. So, what up, Joe? What's going on, man? But yeah, that's what messed them up. But they had a chance to win the game. It's just, Jalen Carter, he's a baller, man. I can't take nothing away from the kid.
Yeah.
But and then Lions, damn, Jared Goff.
They had 5 turnovers and 1 in one game. Not this week though.
Yeah. They didn't have enough. They didn't have enough on that defensive side to stop that bleeding too. Because CJ Stroud, when he had that 5 interception game against the Texans, CJ Stroud had about three interceptions himself. So like,
you don't win them type of games with that.
No,
but again in the playoff,
Jaden Daniels, man, that kid is. I don't know. Is he a rookie?
he proved me wrong.
Is he a rookie?
Listen, I mean, like I said, we'll see what happens next year. But what he's done this year so far, you got to put him up there. Definitely top 5 for sure. Because who else is playing that well? Nobody.
Not that many. Like,
got a ton of weapons. He's got McLaurin, but it's not like this was a stacked command team or nothing like that. Nobody had high hopes for them as a franchise this year. And to possibly, I honestly think they will probably beat the Eagles. I mean, Dak is injured. It's a divisional game. They've already played once in the regular season. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So that's what I'm actually rooting for. I would love to see the Commanders make it to a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he looks with in a cold element. Because he was in Tampa. It's not cold out there in Tampa. He was in Dome in Detroit. So let's see how he looks if it's snow.
With Daniels, but I mean,
yeah, he can run. Don't get it twisted. He can run. I think he's good. And I know he plays in Washington, so it snows out there too. But I just want to see in the playoffs on the road when you got a hostile environment. Them Philly fans ain't no joke. They get to screaming and yelling and cussing and see how he looks out there.
They do it though. I mean, they play him twice a year. Well, this is his first year, so he's played him twice this year. And I mean, Detroit was hostile. You know what I'm saying? Detroit was the 1 seed. So for him to go in and then do him like that, it wasn't like they just barely won.
No, they smoked.
I mean, I was even shocked. I said, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I don't put nobody. Patrick is up here, but to me, Jaden Daniels is what they thought Caleb Williams was going to be. He's he's like he's ready already. Like
we'll see. We'll see how Caleb looks with it. He got Ben Johnson. Let's see how he look with Ben Johnson.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the Commanders can do, and
But-
they legit. And if they keep building around him, then I think they could end up the top of their division of the NFC East. Now we'll see. The Cowboys always got something to say, but as long as they still got Dak in them, the Commanders could be the number one in that division.
What the Commanders are doing, it reminded me of, was it last year or the year before? I forgot whichever one it was. But remember when the Chiefs had lost to the Raiders and didn't lose another game after that, the nightmare on Christmas, let's call for what it is. They're doing the exact same thing because they had that loss against the Cowboys and they have ripped off 5, 6, 7 straight. And you got to be careful of the hot team.
You do.
In clutch situations, like he's poised.
He is.
He's legit in my opinion.
He was like that at LSU though. He was like that at LSU. He was really good at LSU. That's why he won the Heisman. And that's why I was one of the ones because everybody thought Washington wasn't going to do nothing this year. I was like, oh no, Jaden Daniels is kind of like that, but I wouldn't be surprised. And this division ain't that good. Like because I wasn't believing in Philly,
right?
Because I don't believe in Nick Sirianni. I still don't like Nick Sirianni. I still don't care for him as a head coach. I don't. I think he makes bad decisions, and I think he gets bailed out. I think he got bailed out a few times because he got Saquon. That's why. Yeah. Saquon hits a big run, and they win the game.
Philly ain't where they are without him.
But that team is his personality. That's why A.J. Brown act the way he act. He be on the sideline reading books and pouting and stuff because he don't get the football.
Hey, his name, the dude that wrote that book, I know he was at home like, yes, like as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, this is taking off. Like, this. So shout out to him for coming up on a payday because
for real
with the Eagles.
But I that team is so bipolar and so all over the place. Like their emotions are all up and down. That's how Nick Sirianni is. He up and down. One minute he want to showboat, next minute it's like, y'all, you act just like your head coach, man. Like. That's the problem with that team. That's why I wouldn't be surprised either Washington going there and giving them the beats.
Yeah.
Because if they don't score if they don't be able to throw the football around, they don't get smoked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that right now. Gilly the kid gonna be running around here sad on $1 million worth of game. He doing all that dancing now. He gonna be mad.
I said what I said about as far as with this kid Daniels and everything. And I've actually been watching him before. He wasn't at this. ASU was nothing at the time, though. There wasn't really anybody there. And then when he left, people were dissing him, all mad and everything. But they ain't doing it.
Brandon Ayuk and Ricky Persett. They had some guys over there. But I hear you.
They weren't executing at that level, though. They weren't.
They didn't have Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors.
But they got the pieces. They got everything in store for them.
Good coach. But
here's the thing about it, though. Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded guy, and he should have got a lot more respect. Unfortunately, because he was the DC of the Cowboys and everything, they really don't care. Blah blah blah, whatever. He's gonna dial up something to shut down Saquon Barkley, which is a tough ask. But if there's a man that can do it, it would be him.
He's used to it. He did it twice a year with New York Giants, so he knows how Saquon is. So he's used to that.
That helps. Yeah.
I think I would not be surprised if the Eagles were somewhere around less than 14 points for the entire game, and then I wouldn't be surprised if it was decided by 2 scores for the Commanders. I wouldn't be surprised.
You got to score points. Now they better hope it's snow. They better hope it's snow because if it's just regular cold, they better be able to score at least 30.
Yep.
I was gonna say they're gonna have to put up more than 14.
Commanders will be in the 20s, I think, no matter what. That's what I think.
Joe, you stupid.
I think the Commanders, their floor for points this week, no matter what it is, they're going to be at the very lowest. They're going to have 24 points at the very lowest.
Yeah, they scored points.
This offense is rolling.
Terry McLaurin is a beast. Zach Ertz, he's found the fountain of
That
youth.
always been good. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's found the fountain of youth, and he's balling again. And the key, the X factor in this offense that nobody's talking about, of course, Eckler and Brian Thomas, Brian Robinson Jr. Those two running backs, they're a good tandem. But the X factor has been Dommy Brown. That dude, he's been killing teams. Like in the middle of the field, down the field, that's who's been killing people. Dommy Brown. Because every time I look up, he chunking people 30 yards, 20 yards, like wide open. Like, and then that defense, they just opportunistic. They just do enough. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the best defense, but they just get picks. They get a sack when they need to get a sack. Like Dan Quinn, he knows how to dial it up because he's done it before. He did it when he was in Seattle. He had that defense, the Legion of Boom, and then with Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? People, they kill him because of the Patriots comeback, but he was a good coach in Atlanta. He just, unfortunately ran into Brady. He ran into Brady.
Anti run the ball.
And Kyle Shanahan. We don't talk about
the same thing in San Francisco. Like, are we not surprised? Whatever.
So y'all picking the Commanders? Y'all picking Eagles?
I'm going Commanders. I believe in it.
Commanders too.
They playing better ball to me. I know they got a rookie quarterback, but a rookie quarterback has taken a team to the Super Bowl before. I feel like Big Ben. Was it Big Ben that did it?
No, he wasn't a rookie. He would be the first.
No, he'd be the first.
He would be the first.
Well, Dan Marino did it back.
Oh yeah, Marino. Yeah,
he went his first year. That's why
I forgot about Marino.
Because that's why when he went, they was like, "Oh, he'll be back," and he never went back.
That's crazy.
But I'm going Commanders. Obviously, Eagles have been there before. They've been to a Super Bowl, so they are tested and they're at home. But I'm going with the underdog on this one because I do think they have the better quarterback, and I think they're playing better. I think
the Eagles put proven commies
a lot. Like we talked about little schisms and antics and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that make a difference in these type of moments, championship moments. And so it'll be fun. I think it's going to be close no matter what, but I'm going to roll with the Commanders.
I just think Sirianni's going to fold like some of these other coaches. These coaches are folding under pressure. Like, and I've seen in the last weekend, it's just not good. Harbaugh and up in Detroit, as far as they're just folding. That's why I didn't understand the Detroit game at all when they had 12 men on the field. I'm like,
Dan Campbell, I think he's done a really good job. So this ain't me hating on that, but that was my thing. I said I think that they're a good team, but when it comes down to it, he can be outcoached because some of the decision making and things like that. So that's why when everybody talked about the Detroit and stuff, I'm like, if the Chiefs get Detroit in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs are going to beat them because we're going to outcoach them, we're going to out-scheme them, and that's and I feel that way about pretty much anybody we go up against. If we see the Commanders, I think we're going to take them out too because I think. Just if people don't want the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, you can't let them get in because if we get in, I think we will definitely win.
Of course. I agree. Well, all right, let's talk about it. Who are some players in this game that you are watching for on offense and defense? I'll start with you first, Diamond.
Oh, so for you talking about the Chiefs Bills?
Yeah.
The quarterbacks, it's always a showdown. Pat and Josh Allen, they pretty much have clean games most of the time when they play each other. So I expect that to be. I do expect the offense to do more. So I'm looking for D-Hop. I'm looking for Hollywood Brown and Worthy. And then, of course, it goes without saying Kelsey, because Kelsey is always going to be that guy, and he's going to get a touchdown. But I'm looking at some of the receivers in this to kind of open things up because we're going to have to put some points on the board. I don't think this is going to be one of those lower scoring games. They've been close, and the Chiefs, I don't know if we've scored over 30 all season. I don't think we have because we haven't had to. But on this, I feel like there's going to be some points put up on the board, and we're going to have to respond. So I'm looking at our wideouts pretty much. I think Worthy has been doing good. He had a real good catch last game. And pretty much the games before, he's been consistently being more dependable, like a go-to that Pat looks for. So looking at them. And then obviously on the defense, we've got to – I think the way to win this is we're going to ultimately force a mistake on the Bills. The Bills have had pretty much clean games, and that's why they've been so successful this year, because what typically gets them is Josh Allen is trying to do too much, and then he makes a mistake. And they've been clean. He hasn't had to do much. He's been playing pretty much took Tom Brady's advice. And so they've been successful. But I think it's that old adage, the Chiefs have been there, done that. In regards to what anybody says, there is a level of intimidation in that we've got to do this much more in order to beat them. And when teams do that, they get out of their element. And when you get out of your element, you're more accident prone to make a mistake or something happen. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to get a turnover on Josh, and that's going to change the game. And then Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are going to do what they do, which is break somebody's heart in the fourth quarter. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a big turnover to seal the deal. And I'm looking for what our wideouts will do on this game.
What you got, Mark?
Realistically, it's more of a position more than particularly players. It's the running back room. That running back room, somebody has got to step up. I know Pacheco didn't play in their first matchup. Kareem Hunt, he still is it's like as far as schematically, I see what the Chiefs are doing. It's like as far as you have Pacheco as the go-to guy in the first three, and then you try to give Kareem Hunt the fourth, so that way he has enough steam. He's a guy that falls forward, all that stuff. And there was a couple of times even in last week's game where you're like, I don't know if they even feel confident in Pacheco or Pacheco even feels confident in himself. I don't know. But that running back room has got to get going.
I think Kareem's been doing what he needs to do. Pacheco, we haven't seen him like usually being since his injury. He's been back, but I feel like he's been getting touchdowns almost every game. Like he's coming in and being effective when he needs to. I feel, and that's they've got to keep it balanced. But the main reason why I say the running back position is because the way the Chiefs have operated, they've been one of the top teams in putting long drives together, especially when they're touchdown drives, and also the time of possession. It cannot be lopsided by any means. You can't have like some of these first two rounds and everything where a team is holding the ball to the 40 minutes. 9 out of 10, they're going to win the game. It's got to be close to even, somewhere around there, or the Chiefs have got to do better in that one. So you control the clock by making the right calls, dialing up runs, or even if it's like a simple screen or whatever. We've seen that even when the history when they had what's his name? I can't even think. I see his face. I can't even think about it. McKinnon. Yeah, when they had McKinnon in the company, it's like they had to dial up and get creative in that one. How are they going to utilize running backs? P. Ryan, I want to see him get more involved. I think he only had one touch, I think, last week. So I said just the running back room, the receivers and the tight ends, they're going to do what they're going to do. But I would like to be able to see like 19 yards in the first half is not going to cut it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm with you on the running backs. I think Pacheco I don't think he's healthy. I don't think he's fully healthy coming back from that injury, and it shows because he doesn't have that explosiveness. The knock on him is always he doesn't know how to read the hole right. Like he always runs into somebody, but he's moving so fast that he overrides it and just bounce out and still gets yards. Kareem Hunt, as far as like vision goes, he's the better running back.
Yes, I would.
He's if you were to give Kareem Hunt's vision to Isaiah Pacheco, oh my.
Yeah.
and part of it too. Part of it too, though, as well, is that I'm considering as far as where they have Tooney at. Yeah. So I'm trying to consider that factor as well, because Caliendo, he's doing what he needs to do. As far as, but he got playing outside. He's done a phenomenal job as far as doing what he needs to do to fulfill the tackle position. But that could be the other side of it. But I think even before, ever since last year's Super Bowl game, because Pacheco didn't have the best Super Bowl, he didn't have a good game there either. So I'm not sure if it's a confidence. I'm not sure if it's injury. It could be both, maybe. But he's got to find it somewhere. At least to be able, if he gets at least 50, 60 yards, I'm okay with it. But these five, like they're coming out with only maybe 10, 15 yards on 7, 8 carries, they ain't gonna cut it.
And I think that commented there made a good point. Like we ain't seen the magic yet, and it's there. Like y'all already know, there's some plays that are drawn up that we just think. Of course. I mean, and it better, right? Because it's the championship game. I think we're going to see a lot more from the offense, and it's going to be like, there they go. Because we haven't had to. I really genuinely think that the Chiefs do just what they have to do. They play smart. situational football. And so now that we're coming up against the big boys, because Buffalo, they play us tough every single time. So they know we're going to have to kick it into gear. I just think we will. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm being too much of an optimistic, but it's like until we lose, there's nothing to show me any differently. Like I have every faith to believe that they're going to do what they need to do to win. And I think we're going to see people get involved. Like, this is why we got D-Hop. This is why we got Hollywood Brown. Like, for these moments and to open things up. Even if they don't get the touches, they have to guard him. And people seem to still not guard Travis Kelce. Like, how was he that open? And against the Texans, just wide open. So it's like somebody is going to be open somewhere and that we're going to exploit it. And I think we have too much. Like, Josh Allen is really good. We know it. He's really good. But that's not enough. Like, it's just not going to be enough. I think we've got the better coach, we've got the better offense, we've got the better defense, and we at home. So it's gonna be close, but it's gonna be tough for Buffalo. I just really think they have a chance, but
I agree with you. I think you're gonna see a lot more from these wide receivers. I do think that Andy had in mind, like, yeah, we're playing the Texans, but yeah. Andy, he tries to play like he's humble, and he gives you this comments where he tells you every team is good, but then he gets on the field and he'll tell you how he really feels about you, how he calls the game. Yeah, we're gonna give you the C sheet today. Yeah, we're gonna give you the C list today. We ain't giving you the good stuff. This week you're gonna get the good stuff. Hollywood's gonna get more touches. I expect D-Hop to be more involved into the game plan. Xavier is definitely gonna be involved in the game plan. Only thing I want Andy to stop doing is them end arounds and them damn jet sweeps with Xavier Worthy. They don't work. They don't work. They kill drives every time. We get a first down, and then here come the end around, and boom, he get caught behind the line. Like.
Yeah.
And some of that's on Xavier Worthy too, because you're like, run a little faster, brother. You tiptoeing. Like, you need to get around there a little bit faster. But I need him to stop doing that. But other than that, I expect him to get this offense going. As far as the offensive line is going to be important in this game.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Joe Tooney has done a phenomenal job. Now, the pass rush is nowhere near what we saw with the Texans. I think the Texans pass rush might be the
best. Yeah.
The best pass rush we're going to see most of this play or up into the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Philly has a good pass rush, but even they're not better than what we saw with the Texans. So I'm not really worried about their pass rush. They're a good pass rush, but they're not great. This one we just saw, they're elite. So I'm not too worried about it. But this offensive line is going to be important. Caliendo is going to be very important. And scheming up this running game is going to be very important, even if it's short passes, getting screen game. Because that's what the Texans. I give the Texans this. They did a lot of stuff to stop that. Stop the screen game, stop the short stuff. And I think Andy Reid, good on him to anticipate that, because that's where Travis Kelce came into play last game, because he was open in the middle of the field because they was trying to take everything out in the flats. So he was open and wide open in the middle. So, but I expect them, and I think one of their safeties is hurt. I don't know if Tyler Johnson.
Not Bernard Johnson. Rap got hurt too.
Rap hurt too. So they might be down some men. And I think Matt Milano, he was out in the last play of the game. So I don't know if he's hurt.
He playing.
But I ain't worried about Matt. I ain't worried about Matt Milano. He don't do nothing in the playoffs. But
I think I feel like it's gonna be a vintage Mahomes Kelce, because they're unmatched. And y'all probably already know this, but maybe people that are watching don't know. Mahomes and Kelce are literally the best NFL duo that we've seen in the playoffs. 143 completions, 1,682 yards, and 18 touchdowns. That's more than your Brady Edelman. That's more than Brady Gronk. And that's more than Montana and Rice, as well as Troy Aikman, who be trying to hate, Aikman and Irvin. So when you think of all the big duos in the postseason in the NFL to date, Travis and Patrick Mahomes are number one. And I think that continues, because when it's a three-peat on the line, like, who doesn't want to be on this side of history? Like, I think everybody's going into the games with that mentality. So to have that with the skill, with the coach, it's going to take a lot. It's just going to take a lot. And as long as the Chiefs don't make any mistakes, which we've been playing games, I think Pat and Kelsey are going to find that rhythm and get off on this game.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Who are your key players? Who are the key players that y'all looking at to say that's the guy that's going to be the X factor to the game, offense and defense?
Who going first?
Defense is tough because just so many different areas where you're trying to pick apart, especially when the Bills are so good when they line up in the 4x1. And so when people in the 4x1, they have 4 receivers on one side, they have another one on the opposite side. That's when you start to slip out and you see these different combinations and how they line them up. I would expect McDuffie to more so be on Shakir more than anything. Watson will probably be more so responsible for Cooper. So some of these other places, they're going to pick up, as far as you have to deal with
not to cut you off, but if I'm gonna put anybody on Keon Coleman, and I know people don't want to hear this, but because of the size factor and the physicality, I'm putting Joshua Williams on here.
I agree with that. I don't think they have a choice. I think that's.
I'm not putting Najee Johnson on Keon Coleman. I'm sorry, I'm not. I like Najee, but I'm not. I'm not. Be smoking session right there.
But as quiet as it's kept, I think. If the secondary can at least stay close to these receivers and everything, not get them get clear separation, I think they'll be fine. I think it's going to be Justin Reed because he's going to be on these tight ends.
Yeah,
that's what I do believe. Whether it be Kincaid or Knox, because that's been the Chiefs' weakness on defense is guarding these tight ends. Yeah. So it has to be Justin Reed, and not just guarding these tight ends, but timely blitzes, which I'm pretty sure Spags will have dialed up, because when it comes to run blitzing, he does extremely well. It's crazy. So I think he's going to be that. He's going to be that guy on defense specifically. Offense, it's on you, 15. It's on you. I mean, you got the hungry players. I mean, we can throw out every narrative out there in the book. I mean, we can talk about redemption. We can talk about redemption for Hunt. We can talk about D-Hop. The hunger to get there after being on a bad team and being on the wrong side a couple of years ago.
His first AFC Championship game.
You can't expect. He's going to be amped up. Obviously, Worthy, the kind of year he's had, he stepped up. I mean, it's no different than how Rasheed was last year for the Chiefs. I mean, with Worthy, and even so, Kelsey, he's going to do what he does. Kelsey, just act like you've been there before. This is nothing new. It's nothing but another walk in the park for him.
He's so smart to read the defenses. Like, it was the last. It was the 13-second game, and Kelsey is the one read the defense to for them to win the game. He's the one that and I was thinking it was Pat and stuff, but it was Kelsey. So it's like they are just smart on offense.
But defense for Pat, take care of the ball. It's on him.
Yeah,
that's what he's gonna do. It's gonna be Pat. I mean, if he's got to be mobile, be mobile. I mean, he understands the AFC and NFC championships are respectively harder than the Super Bowl. Yeah. These those kind of games. That's just. He knows that. He understands that. The veteran state of mind. Act like you've been there. You know what it takes. You know what you need to do. You're facing a very familiar opponent. I mean, at this point, it's almost like breaking down these Bills games gets old. It's like, I feel like we're talking about the same stuff.
Oh, they are always.
Just understand, this is a hungry team. Act like you've been there. Show why they are the 2-time defending champions. And Pat got to be the leader.
And I think Buffalo, we've taken care of business the last 4 times we played them, right? But and they're going to be playing tougher too, right? Because they feel like this is their time. Like, who wouldn't want to beat Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead? Because think about it, if Josh Allen loses again in the playoffs, what is going to be said? It's going to be he can't get it done. So I don't think they want that stigma, and it really don't matter what they want because that's not going to happen. But I just say that to say they're going to be playing extra tough because they feel like their quarterback is. That's how they feel. They feel like Josh Allen is better, and that he should be MVP. Maybe he will. Maybe it'll be Lamar. But they want to come in and make a statement because a lot of people didn't think they would be good this year after Stephon Diggs leaving, and they're trying to say it was all on Josh, which they got a running game. I don't know what people.
Yeah, they do. Cook
is nice,
exactly.
and the backup. What's his name? Ray Jackson, whatever his name is. Ray Davis, whatever his name is.
I forgot his name, but yeah.
They've got people, and then, like you said, we've got history where they match up very well against us. So I think no matter what, it's going to be a close game. Unfortunately, we're going to be doing this in the fourth quarter, but we all know, like you said, it's on 15, and I don't think he's going to let us down. Hopefully not. You know what I'm saying? Like, not this year. We need 3-peat, but it's going to be good no matter what, because everybody's got something to play for, something to prove. I just think we got a little bit more at stake, but I know that's hanging over their head, and that's part of why I said I think that they're vulnerable to a mistake, because it's a lot of pressure. They want to prove this and that and the third. Josh Allen finally wants to get the monkey off his back of not being able to beat Patrick in the playoffs, and that's going to get them out they square, and we'll be ready to capitalize just like we always do when somebody make a mistake and leave them points on the table.
Mm-hmm. I'm with y'all with the Mahomes. I expect Mahomes to be Mahomes. I expect Kelsey to be Kelsey. It's Joe Tooney. It's Joe Tooney. At the end of the day, it comes down to Joe Tooney, man. We need you 2 more games, player. Just 2 more. We need you 2 more games, player, and then you can go back to your natural position, because you're going to have to play great again or play really good again.
Yeah.
Because if Pat is running around for his life and he can't get the ball off, because the Chiefs like to do those 5-step, 7-step drops. They like to let the play materialize, and Andy can't get fully in his bag if he don't trust what he's seeing with the offensive line. So
that's why we need running backs got to step up.
That too. The running game's got to be formidable. It ain't got to be great, just formidable. Yep. Better be formidable. On defense, I'm with you like how you are with Patrick Mahomes. I'm like that with Chris Jones. Chris Jones, hey brother, hey man, I need you to be great, player. I need about 2 of them from you. If I can get 3, I'll be lovely. But I need about 2 sacks from you, brother. I need you to be disruptive all game. I expect the whole defensive line to be disruptive, but I need you to be disruptive. I need you to show again why you the best defensive tackle in the game, because they doubt you all the time. They talk about Dexter Lawrence and Jalen Carter and all these other defensive tackles, but you the best. And I want you to show them once again on the biggest stage like you always do. Another player on defense that I need him to step up is Brian Cook. I need Brian Cook to step up. There's been a lot of times where I've seen Cook getting cooked. So I need Cook to step up, player. Like, you better than this. I know you're coming off that leg injury, player, and I know that, it's hard to come back from a leg injury and all that stuff, but I need Cook to show up in this game. I don't need you to be bad in this game.
I think
Charlie O. Yeah, of course.
He didn't play the last game either. Matter of fact,
he didn't play. Watson didn't play. Pacheco
didn't play. Brown didn't play. Amenahue didn't play. Watson didn't play. And Butker was on IR as well. Mm-hmm. And on the other side of it, Kincaid was out, Brown was out, and Keon Coleman was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Chiefs win on offense if what? Diamond.
The Chiefs win on offense if we are the Chiefs. If we play the football that we typically play, then, and like I said, I'm not even trying to be a homer or anything like that, but it just is the reality. In these type of situations, there is nobody that thinks quicker and that does better. And I just think it won't, no matter what they do, like I said, it'll be close. They're going to get theirs. Buffalo's going to score. Cook will probably have a touchdown. We're going to see some great, outstanding quarterback play from Josh Allen. All of those things can be true. But I just feel like at the end of the day, they don't have an answer for these 3rd down situations, 4th down situations. I don't think they're going to be able to stop us. And then conversely, I think the defense, like you said, the Chris Jones, the McDuffies, the people that have been shining all year, why will it be different now at home at the biggest game so far this season? So to me, what was even the initial question? As what's the question again? It's like I just got lost.
Chiefs win if on offense.
If we play a clean game, which is no turnovers, no beating ourselves, because that's the big thing. If we just play like we've been playing all year, clean, listening to each other and not trying to do too much, then I think we'll win relatively easily. It's just if we do what I feel like the Bills will do, which is get out there and act like you haven't been here before, which is very uncharacteristic, then that's when we'll lose. It will take an uncharacteristic game for the Chiefs for us to lose. And that is Patrick not playing well. The only time when we lost in a championship game against Burrow, and then was when he was uncharacteristic and had a turnover. Had it not been for that, we would have won that game. So as long as we play a clean game, that's really, I feel like, all we need to do to beat the Bills.
What you got, Mark?
That's that's the big takeaway. No turnovers.
Let's see, we got no turnovers. They got to find a running game somewhere in there. I would say the running game can't be any less than 60 yards because they got to have balance.
Because that's key for the fourth quarter, because I do think it's going to come down to a late drive and we need the defense to be fresh and sharp. So in order, like you said, to keep the time of possession going, keep drives alive, then we need a running game. But I feel like, I know it could be better, but I feel like Kareem Hunt has been doing, like, whenever he's put in to do something, he gets those first downs.
He does.
So I feel pretty confident about that. If we're going for it on a 4th and short or something like that, I feel confident that Kareem Hunt is going to get it.
Yeah.
He's been getting it.
Yes.
It's a tough one because I think for the most part she nailed it though, as far as like you got to win the turnover battle. Mm-hmm. As far as an offense, so Pat he needs to have a clean game more than anything. I think, he learned from the last game, and that was the last time he actually had an interception of any type. Going back to that game, when he's in his bag, he's controlling the game, having a clean game, performing well. I mean, O-line, they're going to have their moments, but they cannot turn the ball over. They cannot give this team any ammunition, not in the red zone, not on their side of the ball. Take the pressure off the defense. They've got to be the ones to go out and get the game. And we've seen the defense bail this team out, and even special teams bail out the offense so many times. So the offense, I think for them, they got to show some killer instinct more than anything. How is that? What does that look like? They got to be the ones that go out and go get it on 3rd and short. None of these ridiculous trick plays. Give it to the tight end. He gets under the ball.
Well, don't hold your breath on that. Andy can't help himself.
I hate the pitch back.
I mean, it's been a while since we've seen that little inside pitch to Kelsey too. That's the thing about it. I'm like, you almost know it's coming. Sometimes if it ain't this week, it's coming. But Pat show some killer instinct this game. We haven't seen that all year long. And if there's an opponent to do it and to shut these fans up, this is the game to do it.
Yeah, I agree. 3rd down efficiency. We have been the number 1 team in 3rd down efficiency. And so we need to continue to do that. That is going to be key in this game. Sustaining drives on the offense. Do not stall out. I don't want to see the conservative play calling from Andy and the drives just go like this.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. I need Andy to be working. Give us the good stuff, man. This is it. This is one to go home, player. You know what I'm saying?
Stay home.
Well, that too. Stay home. You know what I'm saying?
Touchdowns. Because Butker's been great. But I would prefer not to leave it to Butker. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see some dominance and some spark in the offense and just dominate. When you get in the red zone, get 6. I'm tired of walking away with the field goals. Because that's the way. We get there, we can move the ball, but then, like you said, we settle for the field goals, and then that leaves those teams open and leaves us, vulnerable down the stretch in the game where it's anybody's game. If we start converting those field goals into touchdowns in the red zone, then we can put stuff away way before then. These teams are and these games are closest because we've been settling, and it's like we just need that dominance in the red zone.
I agree. Red zone efficiency, third down efficiency will be important. The run game will be important to help Patrick out in the play action game.
Honorable mention the third quarters too.
Yes, be efficient in the third quarter too. Yes, show some life.
Andy,
do not get concerned. If we get a lead, Andy, going into halftime, do not come out in that first drive conservative. Please don't, Andy. I need you to dial it up.
I almost feel like in that third quarter, it either needs to be a tie or it needs to be or the Chiefs need to win that quarter in particular. That's almost what I feel like. I mean, if the Chiefs are up and then they end up tying that quarter, where it's like 7-7 or whatever, I'm good with that. But when they're losing the third quarters constantly, that could easily shift the game.
Yeah.
Win the third quarter.
All right. So Chiefs win if
down too. That's an interesting statistic. When we are down, I believe it's like 7 or so, or maybe even 10, we typically win those games. So not that I want us to be down. I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying if we are.
Got them right where we want them, right now.
Odds because we tend to make good adjustments. Like you said, the third quarter has been kind of disastrous, but I think that we would be able to make adjustments enough if we happen to find ourselves trailing at the half. That we will be able to pull it together, but I would prefer not to. I would just like to be in control for once, like just
for real.
One game where we ain't got to be checking blood pressure at the half.
Chiefs win if on defense. What do they have to do?
Do not take away Josh Allen's running ability. Like he cannot have a touchdown. He cannot have like when he had a clear lane and nobody was on him. And, we can make arguments as far as like, personnel, all that stuff. It's a tall task. He's a hard guy to bring down. I get it. Don't be afraid to hit that guy, even if they want to throw, they want to throw the flags and everything. Send a message at least. If it's a late hit, whatever, then make it a clear message that you're gonna get hit. It's gonna be ugly. Ain't gonna be no light touches. Some of these, they got to hit that guy. I've yet to really see Josh Allen get hit this year.
He's so slippery. I think
he even get. I don't even think he got touched last game. They didn't even record a sack. I don't think they even. Wow. I think pressures were low too. Mm-hmm. They gotta hit him.
And Baltimore is supposed to have that defense. Yeah, he's a tough target. Josh is tough. I mean, you got to give him credit. He's good at what he does. He's mobile. He makes it happen. And he's another one of those quarterbacks when you push him out of the pocket and he has to scramble, he does excellent. Like some of his best plays are the ones that are busted. So like when you talk it through, it's like it's gonna be a good matchup. But yeah. Defense got to figure it out, got to get a hold of him, not let him scramble and get loose, because once he gets loose, then when that showtime happens and he's all the way down the field.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Discipline. This defensive line is going to have to be disciplined. Don't over pursue. Don't go pursuing for a sack. Contain. Keep him in. Don't let him get out. Keep him in. Don't let him get outside. That's where he's dangerous. Yeah. Just like they do with Patrick. They don't want him to get outside because then he has the option to throw or run. So keep him in the pocket, and then he's more acceptable to get sacked or have a fumble or maybe even throw an interception. So, yes, you have to contain him. Be disciplined. Chris Jones and then. Yes, I want you to be Chris Jones, but also I want you to be disciplined. Don't over pursue. Don't go after, a sack unless it's there. Stay disciplined. Leo Chenal, hit him. Don't just grab him. Hit him.
Because he gets calls too. They talk about the Chiefs getting the flags. Josh Allen, I think he gets the most.
He's the LeBron James of the NFL flopping. Yeah, he's bad. He's bad. So
Bolton overdue to make a play too. He way overdue.
Do alum, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of stacked, man. Like people, well, I feel like people sleep on that defense, man.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think spies him? I think it's Chanel. Chanel and Tranquil.
Yeah.
So, oh, Drew, I wasn't even thinking of. See,
I mean, Tranquil, he'll probably be more of the cover. He'll probably be more so in coverage. Though I think he's probably the best of that group.
mm-hmm.
I mean, Chanel's actually earned that role though. He's continues to progressively get better.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I ask questions. I'm like,
I have a dark horse.
Yeah.
Jaden Hicks.
Yeah, that is a possibility too.
Because that kid, he's real. See, yeah.
Mhm.
Listen to me, Joe. You listening to me, Joe, trying to steal my thunder. All right, y'all. What's y'all score predictions?
Same as last year. 24-27.
You said 34-27?
24-27.
Oh, 24. That's a good one. I'm going to say
Well, Joe got like 45 to 10.
37. I think the Chiefs are going to put up 30 this weekend.
Ooh, I like
It's
that.
be required. I think it's going to be required. I think, Buffalo knows how to score. And that's what happened last time. We couldn't keep up, and that's how we lost. They outscored us. So we're going to have to. So I'm going to go close. Definitely. Honestly, I'd say we might win definitely by 3 or less, but I'm going to say 3. And I'm going to just say 30-27. I know that score might not work, but I would say a 3-point spread.
What you got, Mark? Oh, you said 27-24.
27-24. I just think it's going to be one of those games where Butker just closed the door. But I mean, ideally, you want the offense to shut the door. I mean, it may be 27-24 before it even gets there, and then the offense, or the defense gets a big stop, and then the offense just has to run the clock. That might be the situation. I mean, I'm going back right now, even looking where because even when the Chiefs played the Bills, remember the week before, they got close to losing to the Broncos, and that's when that special team. So sometimes those kind of games.
Mm-hmm. And I think the first matchup they was holding they played so vanilla in that game.
Yeah,
they showed absolutely nothing in that game, like nothing. They didn't even spy Josh Allen in that game, like they did nothing.
No.
So, all right, good people, I'm going for it. 35-24. Chiefs.
Whoa! So you think they're gonna have control? And
I think that Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones and them, they sick of everybody. And after last week and all the referee talking, the controversy with that mess, all right, we gonna show y'all. We gonna show you.
So is it gonna be? So is it going to be supposed to be a 35-17 masterclass, and then Buffalo gets a late touchdown?
Yeah, they get a little backdoor touchdown.
Yeah,
little backdoor touchdown.
He's calling a Pat Mahomes masterclass.
Oh yeah, I think Pat is gonna I think Andy gonna let it hang out this week. I think he's like, I've been saving up for this. Oh yeah. Let me show y'all. I'm the best coach in the league.
I would love, because that's really what's necessary. Like, really, no matter what we do, somebody's gonna have something to say, regardless. So if we were win 40-0, somebody gonna have something to say. But ultimately, yes, that's really what we need to just shut everybody down. Is a dominant win by more than 3, 4, 5. A 2-score game would be beautiful against a team like Buffalo at home. So I hope you're right. I'm going for your prediction, but I just, in my spirit, I feel like it's going to be a little bit closer.
I'm gonna be real with you. In my heart, I think it's gonna be a blood pressure game. But
it's easy going
like Spag sideline.
Right? Well, should I say in my mind, in my brain, it's gonna be a blood pressure game. But in my heart, I think my boys are gonna show up this week.
What's funny though, they were talking about the Chiefs and Texans was the most watched game And then I said, they're gonna get shattered this week.
No, that's gonna get destroyed. They're gonna be like 50 million people watching this game. Might be 100.
And see, that's another fallacy.
Everybody, I mean, folk are calling this the Super Bowl. Realistically,
please, we break records every time they play.
I hope Taylor, I hope Caitlin Clark is there. I hope they bring everybody out.
Everybody wants the Chiefs Super Bowl.
Everybody in the booth.
The dude that play Ant-Man.
Yeah, Paul Rudd. I want Paul Rudd in there. I want everybody in the booth. Dig everybody up. Just tell them come. It's a party at Arrowhead. Just come. I want them to show them every time.
It's an exciting game. Like everybody likes seeing the Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. I mean, like I said, the 13-second game, in my opinion, and that's one of the best. That is one of the best games ever. So it's gonna be highly anticipated, and the star's gonna be out. And that's why I think we gonna dominate, because we know how to play when the lights come on. And in the biggest games,
maybe not Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, Rasheed Wallace.
Maybe not Rasheed. I know he's a Chiefs fan, but maybe not Rasheed Wallace. But but no, I want everybody to come back. I want you to show Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift 100 times. Every time we score, every time we get a first down, I want you to show them. Just bam. Ignore the hell out of every fan base.
Right. Get used to it.
I'm embracing the villain role.
Same. I don't feel no type of way. Everybody, these calls. Somebody had said, because I had commented on one of these like national sites, like they had posted something about the Chiefs. And then somebody was like, how does it feel knowing that everyone outside of your red clique, of course, a red clique, hates the Chiefs and all that? And I was like, I actually feel excellent. Because one, I don't need nobody's validation, but two, where are you at, bro? Like, talk about the red click. There are millions of Chiefs fans. What you think? It's just Kansas City that's rooting for Kansas City? Like, people just be so delusional. And like I said, want to have a hot take, want to leave a hot comment for views and likes, but it's like, be for real, bro. Like, the Chiefs are that deal. They, to me, even though they haven't played dominantly, they've had the best record this year. They're the best team in the NFL, have the best quarterback in the league, in the playoffs specifically. And people want to see it because either you like the Chiefs or you don't like the Chiefs and you want to see them lose. So people are tuning into the games. All these people that they're giving us the viewership. Y'all the ones watching. So
we're Mayweather. That's what we are. We are Floyd Mayweather. Everybody wants to see us lose, but guess what?
And I don't care. I love it. Like, y'all can trying to say we've been bad for a long time. And and I'm riding it, like I said before, until we can't ride it no more. Look, I feel excellent, and I don't feel no way about nobody's tears, but crying about these refs. Get over it and do better.
Look, let's be honest. Let's be honest. These other fan bases would trade their lives and their team with our team any day of the week. If they could get what we got right now, 7 straight AFC Championship games, what 5 was it? 5 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls.
Oh, you talking about wins or appearances?
Yeah, appearances. How many appearances?
Appearances we had
2021.
First
so it's 4. It's been 4.
4 Super Bowl appearances.
We've had more than 4. You talking about with Pat?
Yeah,
with Pat was 4.
Yeah.
So 4 Super Bowl appearances. Like, you know how many fan bases would be like, I want that. I'll take the referee controversy stuff. I'll take all of that.
The last time I was on here, I told you there's like 12 other teams. They don't have a Super Bowl in their entire franchise history. So it's like
I was content with just getting to getting to one. I'm like, this might be the only one we get. And then they started to roll up. I'm like, okay, I can get used to this now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, can I watch the Super Bowl now? The Chiefs ain't in it. I don't know. I mean, I end up still watching anyway, but still, just
I know it'd be weird, won't it?
It's weird.
It would.
I mean, we getting used to the invitational.
Yes, I love it. The Arrowhead. Man, that's what I said. I'm enjoying it. This is excellent. This is awesome. Yeah. And no matter what happens, like I said, the Chiefs have done good because nobody has been able to win 3 since the merger. No team has won 3 in a row. So they've done good regardless, no matter what happens on Sunday. But I just hope we win on Sunday. Like, I just want to do that. And then next year we'll see where the chips fall, whatever happened. But they got to get this one. They got to get.
That's what I told everybody. I told all my friends that are fans of other teams. I said, look, man, just let us get history. And then next year Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it. Unless y'all just,
maybe
y'all want us to do a 4-peat, whatever. But just get out just let us do this, and then y'all can have it. I want somebody else to get one.
I
just
know.
want I just want the interesting conversations to begin. That's all I'm here for. The greatest dynasty.
The quad
is how many does Pat really need to be labeled as the best quarterback? I mean, all the storylines are going to pop out.
He don't have to get 7 if he gets a 3-peat. But I do think he's not even 30 yet. If he gets a 3-peat this year,
the only thing that kills the GOAT talk between him and Tom is that Tom beat him in the Super Bowl. That's the only thing that kills it for him.
But
that's kind of subjective in that one. We're talking about a guy with no line.
I get it. No, I agree, but I can hear the argument.
And even so with with Brady and stuff like that. I mean, I think the other part of it why people can't stand the Chiefs because of the way that they're winning. As far as style, we treat the NFL like it's college where we have to have style points and everything. They're not winning by 30. They're not winning by 20. They the one score kings. Let's just call for what it is. But at the end of the day, whether it's by 1 or by 30, a win is a win. Mm-hmm. I mean, say what they want to say. I mean, we can go down the line. Like you said, you talk about Deflate Gate. We can talk about Choke Gate, which is basically the Atlanta game. That's basically what they did. Atlanta had no reason losing that game.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy. And then there was the boring game when the Rams, they got so caught up in the lights, they got to show up.
Let's not talk about the real choke game, the Seattle game. Yeah, we forgot about the Seattle game where Russell Wilson is at the 1.
Yeah,
and he decided to throw the football.
Yep.
Yeah, and realistically, even in the first 3, is that really on Brady or is that more on the defense?
That was the defense.
Exactly.
He made some plays in the fourth quarter because that's what he got known for, is making the right plays in the fourth quarter. But Vinatieri won those games.
Yeah,
and the defense. That's who won those games. So,
and really, I can say, okay, the Super Bowl, that's what it was. But the AFC Championship game, we had all but won that game, had 55 not been offside, and then Patrick Mahomes never got the ball back in overtime. Yeah. So, in terms of going head to head, that was
forward.
You know what I'm saying? A thing where we got outplayed or outmatched. That was just a mistake. And we didn't, the rules changed for us when we didn't get the ball.
Did.
But Buffalo sure did when they complained. So it's like, once again, y'all can miss me with that. Like, I don't feel nothing about nobody's tears and complaining about these calls because people tend to forget we've been on the receiving end of a lot of bad ones in unfortunate circumstances, and we didn't get rules changed for us. We just played better, and we won a Super Bowl after that.
All right.
They should take note.
Get mad at Schrager. It's Schrager's fault.
Exactly. They made a whole rule.
Yeah, the tuck rule. That was crazy. The Raiders should have won that one.
Yeah. But kind of happy they didn't.
What's the other one? The pass interference that wasn't called with the Saints?
Oh, yeah.
That was egregious.
This isn't a random occurrence that calls are missed. In football, it happens. So.
Yeah, it's all bad. All right, Miss Diamond. Always a pleasure you coming on the show and sharing your knowledge of the Chiefs and football. And you're always welcome to come back anytime.
You know what I'm
saying? You always be a friend of the show, and definitely look forward to you coming back on and talk about a Super Bowl win.
Super Bowl week.
Yes. Get my bucker.
Super Bowl week. Super Bowl week against the Commanders.
Yes, that would be excellent. Oh, that would be great.
So, tell everybody again where they can find you at.
DJ Diamond Diva in the building. No, at DJ Diamond Diva on Instagram, Facebook, all of the social media outlets. And for booking, whether it be collabs, whether it be DJ services, you can hit me at djdiamonddiva@gmail.com.
Cool. Yeah, man, go ahead and follow her, man. Hit her up, man. And if you got a podcast, bring her on the show because she knows her stuff.
Yeah, I'm always up for talking football. Like I love it. I'll probably be watching sports talk when I get off the phone, or off this podcast.
For sure. Well, all right, Diamond. Appreciate you coming on the show, man. Till next time.
You too.
All right, player. Another good show in the books, man.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready for this matchup on Sunday.
I mean, it's only right for them to have the night game. Only right. Only right.
Yeah, no. Now my anxiety is gonna be on 10.
I think it's gonna be more chill because you get to. I mean, I think the Jaden Daniels, going head to head against Jalen Hurts and stuff. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah. Help me take my mind off of it a little bit, but once game time starts, it's gonna be like, oh.
It's gonna be a roller coaster.
Here we go. Where's the Tums at? Where's the blood pressure pills at? I just want a smooth game, man. We have a game. We kicking our feet up in the fourth quarter.
Yes, this is gonna be a tough one though.
It is.
It's gonna be a tough one, but I mean, obviously you're gonna be on the winning side of it for a number of reasons. Because then we have a series of different conversations.
I just think we're the better team, personally. That's just me. I think we're the better team. I think we have the better defense, and I think we have a slightly better offense.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, let's just get the game going. We can talk about the X's and O's and who's gonna do what and what formation, everything. At the end of the day, the game has got to get played. The team that makes the fewer mistakes and executes best, just like any other game, is gonna win. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's go ahead and end this. If you look down at the bottom, you see the link emqpodcast.com/locker-room. If you go to that link, you see the locker room access of all the podcasts under the Every Morning Quarterback umbrella. They have a 49ers one, a Patriots one, a Bears one, and they have ours, Arrowhead Chief Podcast. Click on the banner. You see all of our episodes from the recent to the past ones. Also, check out their podcast on YouTube. They talk about everything NFL league wide. They talk about college football, and they give you betting tips for the week. So go ahead and subscribe to their channel. Shout out to those brothers over at Every Morning Quarterback. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, we are available on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio. Whatever you listen to your podcast, the Arrowhead Chief Podcast is available. Also, if you're a first-time watcher on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and notification button. So when we go live on Tuesdays, we usually jumble it around the times, around 5. About sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 7. In between those times. But yeah, man, jump in the lives with us like Joe and Brian was, and a few other people, and talk about.
Stan make an appearance. He was in there.
Yeah, Stan was in here too. Talk about these topics with us, and talk about these Chiefs topics, and get your opinion, man, because we want to hear from you guys. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and also subscribe because we got a big episode next week. We get the return of Clarence next week, people. Clarence is coming back, everybody. He's coming back next week. And we get Ed Easton from USA Today. He's coming on the show next week, too. So we got a big one. We got a blockbuster. We got a barn burner. Hopefully, we're talking about a win. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, whatever you use to do your social media on, Arrowhead Chief Podcast is available. Go ahead and follow us at AH Chief Podcast. We will follow you back because we are not Hollywood. Where you at, Joe? Okay, you know what it is. We Hollywood 3P, baby. Woo! I hear you. But yeah, go ahead and follow us. If you have critiques or feedback, or if you have a question or topic that's Chief related or NFL related, hit us up via DMs, emails, or hit us up in our mentions. If we like said topic or question, we will bring it up on the show. And we will shout you out on the show because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up, and we will get back to you as soon as we see the question or topic. All right, good people. All right, Chiefs Kingdom. This is it. It was not it, but you know, this is the AFC Championship game. Another Super Bowl on the horizon. Let's get this dub against Buffalo. Bills Mafia, if you listen, hey man, we're trying to make history, baby. Maybe next year. But until then,
we out.
We gone.